We have an update for you on Drew McIntyre's suspension. Plus, an ex-WWE star is not expected back in AEW after the walkout on the weekend. And WWE faces racism accusations from Westside Gunn. While you were away, Ross, Drew McIntyre was suspended
for kicking a referee in the face.
Full on in the face. I erroneously said on the weekend it was Ryan Tran. It wasn't Ryan Tran. But Ryan Tran probably does deserve a claymore from Drew at some point. I'm just pointing that out.
What's Ryan Tran done?
Is he always the one that's in the midst when there's carnage going on? You're on Saturday night's main event, as we talked about on WTF Moments. He's the one that's in the ring when Drew and Cody are having their match. He keeps getting in the way and nearly getting Cody DQ'd and all.
In the business for himself, is he, Ryan Tran?
But I threw him some heat on the weekend unnecessarily, and I apologise. But a referee did get a boot right in the face from Drew, and it led to a big old shouting match, and Nick Aldis dropping an F-bomb and suspending Iron Drew. His suspension on SmackDown is for a very good reason. One you may already know about. If you don't, here's Ross to tell you.
It was announced by Deadline via my mouth right now that Drew McIntyre has been cast in the remake of Highlander alongside Henry Cavill, Russell Crowe, and a guy called Dave Bautista.
Never heard of him.
Bloody who the hell's that?
Never heard of him. As we know already, filming set to officially begin next year, but the Wrestling Observer reporting that Drew has been pulled from TV for pre-production. And there's a fair bit of pre-production to do for Highlander, because Dave Bautista told Collider that he has spent the last few months doing swordsmanship training.
Now, I normally go to a bar on a Saturday night in the urinals and do something similar. And let me tell you, Dave, it doesn't take that long to master.
Don't cross the streams. Drew, obviously Drew owning swords already. Maybe he's already quite good with them and he needs less time than Dave.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
Release the videos of Dave Bautista learning how to swing a sword. That is the Highlander movie for me.
Wonder if Dave's is named after his mum as well.
Oh, do you reckon?
Drew's is famously called Angela after his recently departed mother. So
God, love it. Yeah, maybe everyone's swords in Highlander are named after their respective mums. You would have heard already. Drew is going to play the brother of Conor McLeod, Angus McLeod. I don't think you can have a more Scottish surname in the remake of Highlander. I'm up for seeing this. The Highlander franchise went through a very weird time. By the time they got to Highlander Endgame, there's an opportunity here to pull it back and make something fantastic.
It would have been even better if that one Highlander didn't go to TNA that time and bugger up for the rest of the franchise. Wrestling jokes on the wrestling news. But I'm intrigued to see what Drew's voice is like in this, because he's become Americanized, obviously, by spending so much time over there. His pure Scottish twang is slowly fading as the time goes by. So he's going to have to re-Scottishify himself.
He's going to have to watch a lot of Sean Connery to learn how to Scottish again. So that was why that happened. I think you might have put two and two together on that one, but basically it's pre-production before the thing starts next year. So it might mean that either Drew is gone for ages now, or Drew has a little bit of time off over Christmas, comes back around the Rumble, a bit round Rainier, and then disappears again to do the actual film.
Time will tell.
We will know soon enough. And it kind of leaves a bit of a gap on the SmackDown side of things. I don't know whether you know, it's a little bit thin on top.
Yeah, Aleister Black is getting involved. Well, he was there with Cody on Friday, wasn't he? I guess Carmelo Hayes is getting more TV action, although he's with The Miz at the moment, isn't he?
There's some potential up-and-comers on there as well. WWE could also do what they've been doing on NXT and just steal some lads from TNA. And obviously they fell in love with Jordan Grace, ended up signing her to a deal. They're falling in love with Joe Hendry. He's on copious amounts of NXT, inevitably until his contract re-signs. But there is another member of the NXT, of the TNA roster, that NXT have their eyes on.
Yeah, coming to us from Fightful Select this one. Leon Slater's TNA deal goes until next fall, which for us over here is the autumn. He almost certainly may have other options when his deal is up, and he's already well liked within WWE. He has made a good impression when visiting the show and working with their talent, which is the least shocking news I've heard all year.
Yes, indeed. They like him, and he is getting on well with everybody.
And he is good.
He is ever so good. Oh man, like we knew when he was, turning up at Anarchy Brew in Newcastle. Like, this is a guy that's going to have the industry at his feet at some point. And here we are.
That tag team, the sort of the loose tag team, him and Javon have got going on NXT. That's main roster ready now.
That is actually, do you know what? That is very ready now.
Va-va-voom.
Oh, that is very ready now. So they could be heading up. An ex-WWE star looks to not be going back to AEW. We talked about this in the news video this morning. The situation took place over the weekend with Nixon Newell and Miranda Elise, who were meant to wrestle on Collision. Weren't a fan of the setup of the match. Not so much that they were losing, but more they were losing in 3 minutes. And just said nah, and then left. We do a big deep dive into all of that on the video from this morning. But from Twitch last night, Nixon Newell said there is no bad blood on either side. Ross, I don't think that's true.
No. The Wrestling Observer is saying that neither are expected to be back in AEW anytime soon, or if, again, at all. And many people have been sort of contacted backstage and thought what they did was stupid, which I tend to agree with, Tom. Because on one hand, you got Tegan Knox saying, oh, bloody hell, I haven't got the bookings, I do not. And, well, I shouldn't laugh at that. She's not getting bookings, or as many bookings as she would like. So she's got one and then gone, that doesn't quite work for me, brother.
Yeah, or sister in this case.
Yes.
And it does, yeah, and in a time where the industry is, as we said this morning, can sort of contracted as much as it is, you know, maybe not a good thing to burn that bridge there. And when the phrase like bad blood comes up, and this is something I've seen a few people talk about, and I think there's some truth to it, in that it's not a case of everyone's like, oh, we don't like her anymore. It's more the case they go, whatever, like we're not in a mad rush to bring you back. You haven't destroyed all our big plans. You do you, hun.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll have other people, other irons in the fire as well. A lot of AEW talent have made comments about the situation without officially naming names. They've shared stories of how like their enhancement matches have changed their lives, and sort of vague posting about the situation itself, and which makes me think that generally like AEW have sort of circled the wagons a little bit around the company when it comes to this story.
Yeah. And if you look at recent past as well, like how many people have had an enhancement match of this type? Because it's not a squash match. There's a difference between a squash match and a 3-minute TV match, I think. And I think the 3-minute TV match they're going to have, it might have felt a little bit squashy in nature, but it's not a full-on squash match, but they're not going to be able to show any kind of wrestling prowess whatsoever. So we've seen countless people in the past, while losing in relatively quick fashion, show something and get hired off the back of that. And I don't know why this couldn't have been done, because at the end of the day, they're not hired full-time by AEW, are they, at the moment?
No,
this time?
they're not. They're not part of the company's future plans as it stands. So they're there to help work on the people who are, and that didn't end up happening. And we'll again, but as we said this morning, would we have been talking about Nixon Newell and Miranda Elise as much if they'd just gone through with the match? Probably not.
That's not a good thing, is it? Is it a good thing?
It's a short-term thing. It's a short-term burst of PR. Is it a long-term gain? I don't think.
No.
Our main story concerns Westside Gunn. He is a massive WWE fan, has been for many years, kind of leaning towards was. This is a guy who's been at front row for WWE shows many occasions. His albums and album art and his songs are all inspired and deeply rich with WWE. Some deep cuts in there as well, in some of them as well, and contains like loads of drops of sound bites of WWE shows. He's a big WWE fan. He went online and you could tell it broke his heart to do so. Talks about some of the real negative treatment that he's had from WWE lately.
He's been threatened with legal action against him over these references that Tom mentioned there, the little sound bites and whatnot. I guess technically, if you're going to put your legal spectacles on, it's the copyright of WWE, but this how little they are. Come on, have a heart. You're making billions every year. This is a drop in the ocean.
It really, there's a lot. There is that as well. The thing that drew their attention lately is for Westside Gunn's album Heels Have Eyes, which is a great play on words, and the use of pictures of Ted DiBiase and Virgil on the album art and in big billboards. And WWE went, no, that's our picture. How dare
He's missed a trick there, by the way, because Heels Have Eyes is how Dusty Rhodes would have just said, Heels Have Eyes.
The heels have eyes,
baby.
So you have Dusty on the cover, or not in this case.
From the NWA, though, get around it.
See what you did there. Westside Gunn also spoke about an incident that took place in March.
Yeah, he was kicked out of Raw where after the show went live, after he paid top price for a front row ticket. The video footage went around on social media, of course, and it broke the kid inside of him's heart.
Yeah, I mean, he says he said in post online, I was kicked out for nothing. Like, he was sat there until 8 o'clock. The show started, and at 8:03 he was removed. And whether or not this is to do with some of the aforementioned cease and desist and legal action around there, either way, it's a real bad look. So Westside Gunn in this long post describes the instance that we talked about. Goes on to say, I tried having conversations with one individual because he's causing all these unnecessary cases. And to be honest, he hates seeing a young black successful entrepreneur that could afford those seats. And that is I think to Westside Gunn, that is the crux of this. This is something that's quite racially motivated. And like you say, look, it's obviously WWE's IP in the photos and stuff, but come on. I admit that this isn't a legal precedent, and this I would not be very good when it comes to in a court of law just to go, come on.
Yeah, but
come on.
I imagine if other artists used similar stuff in their songs,
there's a lot that do.
Exactly.
So this could potentially open a big old can of worms, and it could mean that there's a lot of music. Because what this would ultimately mean is that if WWE is successful, then all the WWE imagery that is used in Westside Gunn's album art, promotional work, and billboards has to be fully removed and replaced with something else. But also the songs that have samples of WWE in have to be removed from streaming platforms, and that's a massive hit to not just Westside Gunn, who wants all his stuff available online, but to fans as well who love those songs. They're going to potentially disappear, potentially come back with massive business.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it?
It's just, I feel like, it's weird because we get sort of get painted with quote unquote sort of Fed bashing at the moment, but it's sometimes, it feels like someone goes out of their way to kick a beehive. Like, I feel like WWE, is almost going out of their way to have these PR nightmares at the moment.
I love AEW and WWE exactly the same amount. That's the only way to succeed as a content creator in 2025.
I think they can both be very good and they can both be very bad.
No, Tom, you love them both equally. They are both great. Fantastic. Wrestling.
Sometimes they both get things wrong, but they're both brilliant and they're both not.
Yeah, this is a lot of bollocks, this.
This is bollocks, by the way. Up the Westside Gunn. Up the Westside Gunn, honestly. Yes. He's dealing with his own WTF moment. You've got a WTF moment later as well, haven't you?
It might be out tomorrow on the old Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic for Saturday's main event, the one that happened a couple of weeks back.
Excellent. It's there.
It's getting done.
Yeah.
I've been poorly.
Oh, you have been very poorly, boy. I might see you tonight at the Zombie Rooms in Edinburgh. I'm ring announcing for WrestleMania, which is the Movember charity wrestling show.
Oh, sounds kinky.
Yeah, they've asked me to put a moustache on, but I'm going on holiday in a bit, and I don't think my wife would be happy.
Shave the cheeks, you coward.
No. As I said to Fraser on the weekend, you ring my wife and you ask her. I'm pretty sure I know what her answer will be.
At least dye the Hogan in.
I might do a little bit of that for later. But if you come along, I'll see you there. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
I was going to try and do some sort of West Side thing, Tom, and I've bottled it. Goodbye.